Okay, so good evening, all. Lovely to see you back on the show, Saloum, Njie.
Yes.
After the last show, and you was mentioning about the Bridgerton, and we just
told you,
were
I
like,
told
what's that like? Lovely to have Kenia Fenton on the show, an up-and-coming actress and classical piano player. Amazing, she will blow you away. And obviously Jamila with me, my girl. We are the next generation.
Next generation.
Mangrove 9. My name is Yinka Inniss-Charles.
My name is Jamila Bolton-Gordan. And we are the Mangrove.
9.
Part of the Mangrove Next Generation, Mangrove 9.
Exactly. So don't forget that name. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and support us. You know, the next generation of the Mangrove 9. You can find us on Instagram and also YouTube. But let's forget all about that because we've got a guest on our show, and I'm really excited because I'm talking some gossip about the Bridgerton. Okay. But first, we're start with you, Mr. Saloum, you superstar. Proud of you coming from Ladbroke Grove, and you've worked hard throughout the years. I know that. I know how hard you've worked to know that you deserve it. So, Mr. Saloum, for those who don't know, can you please introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Saloum Njie. I'm a filmmaker. As Yinka says, and Jamila says, I'm from Ladbroke Grove. A proud Ladbroke Grovian. In fact, if Bridgerton was in Ladbroke Grove, I'll be from Ladbroke Grove Shire, Ladbroke Grove Aton, you know. But that's me in a nutshell. West London, Ladbroke Grove. I'm a filmmaker. I've been in the industry for 18 years, and you know, I love what I do.
Come on, you do more than that. He's worked on things like James Bond and Luther.
We'll all come to that, won't we? We'll come to that.
All right, we'll come to that. So
we've got to ease him in gently, Yinks. Ease him in.
You know, these Buddhist people pretend like, oh, I'm just a director. Okay, anyway. So Kenia, can you introduce yourself, please? Don't be shy.
Yeah, I'm Kenia Fenton. I'm a third-year actor at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire, graduating in June.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
That's our girl.
I'm also got a musical background, so I've been classically trained in piano up to grade 5. I also create my own music, teach myself my own pieces, and I'm working towards my grade 8 right now.
Brilliant.
Grade 8. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, see, something like the Bridgerton would have been perfect for you to play with the bands and things like that.
No, the opera, or the lead actress when she's playing the piano in her poised self.
Yeah, of course. You never know. You never know what's coming. Anyway, so Saloum, so we're going to start with you. What inspired you? You know, why did you want to be a director? What made you wake up as a child one day and say, I want to be a director?
You know what? I think I mentioned this before, but I think my mum took me to see Empire Strikes Back. I think, as I mentioned this on the last show. And, you know, I'm a huge Star Wars fan anyway. And lo and behold, in Star Wars, was this black guy called Lando Calrissian, who owned Cloud City. He wore a cape. He was Han Solo's best friend. He flew, he owned the Millennium Falcon. So I'm looking at all this in the cinema with my mum, and I'm thinking, man, I want to be that guy. You know, and from that moment, I knew I wanted to make films. I didn't know, I wanted to be in the filmmaking process. So I didn't know if I wanted to be an actor or a writer or a director. I just knew that by seeing this black guy who wasn't a pimp or wasn't a thief, he wasn't the black cop or the best friend, he was a hero. I just wanted to be that guy. So I guess that's when I got the filmmaking bug from watching Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
And you know, it's quite interesting when you say that, because what interests me with the universe and astronomy and all those things, which is part of my second baby of the things that I like as hobbies, is Darth Vader.
Yeah.
The voice of Darth Vader, the cape, and the way he's, you know, he used to sweep along the corridor of the ship. And the power, just the power that he kind of ascertained. We didn't have that, even though he's meant to be a bad guy. The fact that he had power.
But remember, he started off good. He was a Jedi. He was a big, powerful Jedi, and he turned back, and he come back to be good.
Well, in the end, eventually, So no, I get it. You know, if you're Star Trek or if you're Empire Strikes Back or any of those, I wouldn't say fanatics, but any of those people, sci-fi, who enjoy that, then those are the type of things that kind of take your imagination away in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we did cover some of these questions last time, but again, for those who are not aware of the actual podcast last time, it's also good to revisit, you know, what age were you when you started?
I was, you know, I think in filmmaking terms, that's quite late. I was 25. I was 25 years old. I used to go, in fact, near my grandma, Barbie Road, Yinka.
Yeah,
By the Sutton.
Yeah.
Right. So there was a place called Massive Videos.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Barney Pratt Mills, I have to shout out because he used to run it, and he had like video equipment, and he used to teach us like script writing. He had film equipment, and he encouraged us to make films. Courtier Newland used to go there as well, and Courtier was writing the book at the time called The Scholar. And
was that near the YCTV place?
Yes, yes. Just further down.
I remember Sabrina Guinness used to do the stuff there.
Sabrina Guinness, yeah. So we used to go down there, and I was there for about a year, and then Bill Murray was shooting a film in Ladbroke Grove called A Man That Knew Too Little, and part of the reason they got the location was that they would take some youths on as runners and location marshals on the film, and I got to be a runner. It was only for a week, but I didn't want to go, so I stayed for the 2 or 3 months as a runner on the film. So yeah, to answer your question, I was 25.
Okay, I mean that's not necessarily late actually, because you kind of know yourself by then.
Yeah.
Trying to find
you have a better understand yourself. You're less likely to get swayed. to the dark side.
Yeah.
Okay, so Saloum, what is the best project that you would have said that you've done, or what's the best project you enjoyed doing? I know you've done quite a few, so you can kind of mention that. But what was your most favourite one that you've done?
Well, you know what? I don't think I've got a favourite one. You know what? I think like Bond. I did a film called Tomorrow Never Die with Pierce Brosnan, and that was my second film I ever done. And I was the first and only black AD on that. I was a runner on the movie, and just the size of a Bond movie. I mean, whoever's seen a Bond movie knows the size of a Bond movie. You're getting explosions, you're getting car chases, you're getting stunts, and I worked on that movie. And it was incredible. I mean, just the amount of tech. When I say tech, the amount of like camera crew, the amount of stunt crew. You had a first unit, a second unit, underwater unit, a splinter unit, a stunt unit, a model unit. I mean, it's just units all over the place, and it was huge. So that's a good film. Also, World War Z with Brad Pitt. Did World War Z? We was up and down the country. We was in Glasgow. Falmouth, you know, zombies, you know, 500 essays, you know, it was just production. It was just massive all around. I was gonna say, Wrath of the Titans. We went to Tenerife for 6 weeks. You know, one of those Greek sandals and swords, you know, epics. You know, that was fun. And then I do shows like Luther. Idris Elba. I did that show for 12 years. And again, you know, it's a big show. It's a show that had a big impact, but it was a very small crew. It wasn't like it couldn't touch Bond crew or a World War Z crew. It was a very intimate crew. But you know, we all knew each other. You know, some of us are friends to this day. You know, but yeah, I have a few. I must say Bridgerton as well. Bridgerton is one of my favorites as well. Yeah.
How do you find it on the cast, actually? I mean, because one thing the reason why I asked you this is because when we were speaking to the cast of Mangrove, they said it's quite poignant actually that it was the first time that they've ever had. I suppose in this instance, it's less diverse, but it's more black in terms of the cast.
Of course.
But they've never had so much fun because they were relaxed.
Yeah.
They knew what they had to do. There's certain things that you just don't have to say because culturally you understand each other and you know, sometimes it's the eyeballs, the laugh, you know, all the things that we've been taught, you know, different forms of communication.
Yeah.
The music, even I suppose the directorship under Steve.
Yes.
Again, was very. They formed a very good relationship with a very good understanding, and that's another thing. Because if you don't have that communication on set with your director and other people who are part lead, producing or editing. That can be quite stressful. How do you keep the momentum of keeping so many different personalities and so many quirky different people, personalities together and stay focused to achieve the outcome that you want?
Is that just in general or just for Bridgerton?
No, just when you're on the films.
You know what? I mean, I'll answer the first part.
Maybe.
I'm a Bridgerton,
How do I personally make it happen? It's just that, obviously you're going to get, when I'm directing with my own projects, I always work with people that I trust. I work with people, even if they're new, that I get a sense of a good vibe with. I've kind of been lucky to come across in my filmmaking career that I haven't really come across no people that want to show off or shout and carry on. I'm lucky that I've seen actors shout at PAs. I've seen actors shout at directors. I mean, I've seen all of that. But me personally, I just think it's down to personality. I just think that me personally, I've got a warm, dare I say it, charming, funny personality. So I tend to get away with a lot of things that other people can't get away with.
Creating a vibe, innit? You got the you got the top.
When I come in, I just create my own vibe. So if they look at me, they know. You see him? Don't come to Saloum with that. And I don't mean that dismissively. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I'm not going to portray something that I'm bigger than I am. I'm not. But I'm just very calm. I'm very together. I like to talk to actors when I'm directing them, and I create a vibe of, it takes all of us to make a film. It's not my film, it's not your film, it's our film. What could we do to make this the best thing we could do?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. In terms of Bridgerton cast, I mean, I was assistant director on that. So I along with a fantastic team of assistant directors, we had Louise Washman, we had Arthur Shepherd, we have Lias Thomas, we had Kate Ellison. The AD crowd team, because we did all the crowd, were fantastic. So it was my job to, get all the crowd on set and tell them what to do within the scene. So the director, like Ulrich Riley, is a black director. Check him out. He's from England. He's a great.
His name was
Ulrich Riley. In fact, I'm gonna set up an interview with you. With Ulrich.
Okay. All right, that'd be brilliant.
It has to be a Grenadian. That's it. I'm all over. I'm all over. You see, we're all related as well. That's what I'm
and the Trinities.
I just need to find out
the Trinities crew.
You see what I mean?
Guyanese crew.
What's his surname?
Guyanese crew,
The usual questions.
So,
listen, I have to find out if we're related, because one thing, there's only less than 100,000 in Grenada as population.
He might be one of your cousins then, but
the family is
it was good because so I dealt with the crowd, the cast. You have other ADs, first, second, third AD, and PAs that will deal with the actors. But again, I'm on set, and I got on with all of them, and we all talked, and we were all happy to be there, and we were all like, wow, every single black melanated character in Bridgerton, they weren't the help, they weren't, there weren't any of these things. They were members of the royal family, member of royal household, nobility, aristocracy, and they were wealthy. You saw the costumes. They were going in, and we was like, and we had fun.
Yeah.
We had horses and carriages to play with.
And learn some of the class were learning to ride, weren't they? They were Reggae was Duke of Hastings. I keep calling him Reggae.
Yeah.
He actually learned to ride on the set, didn't he?
Yeah.
He couldn't ride a horse before.
I'd be on set.
Wow, that is good.
You go to set, and we would create a whole town, and everything. No expense was spared. We had marketplaces. Yeah, again, the horses and carriages. We had riders. It was just like, wow. So you take that corner, okay. So dress that corner, wow. So I've got this. Well, you do this. When you see lady, Lady Daphne or Danbury or Reggae's character walk down here, you do this. You say, So it was really good stuff to play with and recreate and bring the background to life. That's essentially what I did on Bridgerton. Just bring the background to life.
So can I just ask you as well, like, I noticed for me that what I loved about Bridgerton was the diversity of the characters, and the one thing that stood out for me was the fact that nobody was in a better role or position based on color. Because I'm not being funny, you know, like sometimes when you're watching films, if you have certain black characters, they might even have quite leading roles, but then there'll be something to kind of make it be, oh, their family came from, you know, something really bad, and then they made their way up. What I loved about Bridgerton is that I didn't see color. It was like you could have a duke and he was black. You had someone who was poor, they were white or whatever. There was no kind of not hierarchy based on color. It was just like the black was the same as the white. So the person playing the characters, white and black, there was, you just didn't see any color. I didn't see color, and that's what I loved about it, because it made us,
what makes it unique.
It made it also be where you could find yourself fitting in, if that makes sense, where I could relate to the characters. One, the kind of way they kind of mixed the characters, in that they had a bit of the new with the old, even down to smoking cigarettes. And I thought about that today. I thought, they can't be smoking cigarettes in a packet like that. I didn't notice really when I was watching it, and I noticed it today. I thought, because I was going to do a little prank, but I didn't. And I thought, how did they have cigarettes in a packet? But they done it so well that you didn't even notice, down to the music, where you had like the classical music playing up-to-date tunes, and you're like, hey, that's a tune.
We find that, Kenia. So, sorry.
Sorry.
Let me bring it. How did you find just even the music genre, or just from a young person's perspective?
When I heard was like "Thank You Next" by Ariana Grande, and me and my mum watched it together, and they were playing it, and it came from the subtitles "Thank You Next," and I was like, oh my gosh, I know the song. I was like, that's really, really cool. And also what you were saying as well about the diversity, I found that really inspiring as well. The fact that it was so diverse, and that black people, I feel like for black actors especially, you kind of get stuck in, people put you in a bubble where, you know, you're the help, or you kind of aid the story of a white character,
the superhero,
or you sacrifice yourself and for this it was just them being people, and just that then, like, black people they're just normal people, they're like everyone else. They didn't have anything that made them deserve to be better than a white person. It was just that they were them and they were on the same level. So I loved Bridgerton.
I mean, you come to the music. I remember, because you know, when we used to take the essays on set, especially with the ballroom scenes, you know, I never heard the music, you know, so, you know, we rehearsed the scene and the dances are going on, because they used to have these little, you know, things in their ears, so the dance, they're hearing it, they're doing their thing, and when you hear the music, you're like, wow, this is like incredible. I mean, the behind the scenes of Bridgerton, I'll tell you one thing, was that when we brought the essays on, you know, we used to play like R&B music or hip hop music, or what was the particular favorite? David, one of the ADs, he used to put on Funkadelic.
Oh, yes, my man.
All we used to just jam for 10 minutes. We'd be on set just jamming. Everybody, the whole set, mind you, apart from me and the other ADs, everybody from cast to SAs are in costumes. So you can imagine, you're dancing to Parliament Funk.
And them title things.
And this is what we used to do. We used to really get everybody hyped up. And then we said, right, cut the music, let's get back to the show, in the scene. And it worked. You know, it worked. So, you know, congratulations to all of that lot. You know, the music and stuff was fantastic.
So when it comes to music, even from you, Kenia, how did you find, because your ear is slightly different to ours, it's sharpened towards the more classical trained ear. So I suppose you're in a slightly different position to critique it in a certain way. My daughter, who's 6, knows nothing about piano, never had a lesson in her life, but she sat on the stage the other day and had a posture like she was the queen, you know, playing her piano. And she actually was, by the 10 minutes, she was going all the way down the keys of the piano, like she had been trained since for that 20 years. So but it's the confidence and everything else. But I thought that was quite good, the way they portrayed how they incorporated the music. And what did you think?
Yeah, I really liked it. And I think it kind of showed as well that music is just universal. You can have modern music and you can do it in any different way and it will suit the show. So they had songs that we hear like on the radio, and as soon as you just switch the genre of it, and it immediately fits. So I found that really cool. And it's also quite interesting, especially for young people to hear as well, that you can get music from different eras and stuff, and you can apply it to anything that you want. you don't have to focus on, you know, classical music from that time. They've got music that we know today and they've put it into the show.
Yeah.
It's really do that.
So Saloum, how did you get onto the show? Like, how did you get to actually work on Bridgerton?
You know, I've been in this game for 18 years, and as an assistant director, as a director of my own projects, and being one of the only black ADs, I kind of stand out, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not using my melanated presence to get jobs. I mean, I'm good at what I do. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Mm.
And,
You've been in the game a long time.
Yes. So I worked with this a brilliant first AD called David Stafford. So David Stafford, we did Luther together. The last season of Luther we did together, and then we did a show on Channel 4. Forget what it's called now, but we worked in Budapest. We was in Budapest for a month, and then we came back, and then we did a show called Avenue 5 HBO with Warner Brothers. We did, and then we did that show, and then, you know, he got this show Bridgerton. He goes, right, Saloum, you know, what this show is, blah blah blah, a costume drama, and I'm like, what, a costume drama, period drama? Would you? It's all right, you know. I've never done a period drama, and but I will do one again if it's Bridgerton, because it was fun. But to answer your question, I got that job. I was called up by an AD that I work with a lot, and we work well together, and we're in a kind of little same team together. And he said, listen, let's do the show, and that was it. Then Bridgerton, the rest is history.
You know what I like? You know, just as you were speaking about that, what would be interesting is to do something like a black Sherlock Holmes. Because you know how we are.
That'd be good.
Or female black Sherlock Holmes.
Jamila, you know what you just said about a black Sherlock Holmes? You see, again, what Bridgerton has triggered in characters for melanated men and women and children that can go in any era, because we fit in any era. That's and what also done for me. So when you say black Sherlock Holmes, of course. When you say you know, black scientists, of course. Black engineers, of course. You know, all of these characters fit into every narrative every time, and that's also, my point.
Sorry to cut you, but also what I think is interesting is, you know, we're part of, for the next generation, we like to archive. We like to go back to the archives of any topic, find out what the originator or the original scenarios were around that particular era. And then bring it back to today and see what the differences are.
Then to now.
And and then how you're moving forward. And I think also anything historical, young people need to understand, and we need to be able to teach them through whatever means is pliable. So if it's through film, whether it's through music, storytelling, whatever the case may be, poetry, we need to kind of revamp that element of us. Because there is certain elements around that do pocket fills, but we don't know where they are. We're still disconnected, even though they're around. And it would be good to see. I mean, what young people would you like to work with? Is there any particular young individuals that are coming that you?
Yeah, obviously.
Of course, this young lady here.
Well, we've got such a variety. We've got such a pool of young people that are just waiting and that are even undiscovered. I mean, that's sometimes a bit sad that we don't really know how much talent we have in our community, because we're quite shut down at the moment.
Well,
but we're going to be opening that up anyway.
I'm working with King Cam TV, these young black directors at the moment, Cameron, and the lovely team we're doing. You know, we've got projects we're doing together. So you know, I've already reached out to younger black filmmakers that that I want to bring in, because that's what it's about. It's about just, you know, if I'm saying I'm here where I am in my career, so I can open just say one door. If I can open that one door, you know, and you're good at what you do, and you show responsibility. You can wake up early. You can travel. You know, you don't mind hard work, because I mean, what I do. You look at Bridgerton, and Bridgerton's a great show, but what you don't see is me wake up at 4:30 in the morning, going to some field somewhere with a massive marquee, it was freezing. Before catering set up, you know, I'm there with hair, makeup, and costume. We're all moaning, why is it so early? And then all the essays come in, and then you dress everybody. So you know, we're 3-4 hours before we even go to set. Then we do a 4 days work. Then when we wrap out, we take everybody back to the marquee, and they all have to get undressed, all have to go through hair, makeup, and wardrobe, take all their wigs off, all their weaves off, everything off. So from 4:30, my start time, to what? Sometimes 9, sometimes 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm there. That's every day for months.
Yeah, it's hard work.
So if you're
People don't
prepared,
realize.
if you're prepared to make
dedication.
those sacrifices, I mean, I'm glad the show's doing well, but you know, it's hard work. It's not easy.
It
And
is.
to be honest with you, there's some man that I've introduced to the game. They're like, well, I can't really do that, you know, bro. And, you know, all that kind of thing.
Easy come,
They don't want to do it. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody. So you have to see a vision, and you have to, you know, go for me personally, I'm not letting rain or snow or cold or distance or long hours interrupt my goal or my dream. That's
do you think, Celine, that's because you have passion for it? Because I found that was also similar to being when I was in the music industry, where you know you had to do repeats of recordings over and over and over again. You don't get to eat for the whole day sometimes. You know, getting up early, you don't get sleep. And I remember one time my sister come in and I gave her a little free bring-in, and she had to get up early, and she was getting, you know, quite good money, and she was moaning, "Oh, I couldn't do this. It's so many hours doing the same thing." And I said, you know what? As much as people are creative in themselves as artists, and they have the passion, the behind the scenes work that we have to put in to make something look beautiful or look productive. I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to make something.
It's time. Listen, especially on a show like Bridgerton. I see we're taking actors and essays to set, supporting artists to set, and even off camera, I'm seeing the costumers, you know, costume people sewing people into costumes. I'm saying, well, no, you can't roll yet. They're coming up with hairpins and they're putting it in their hair. And it's just, and you make up a touch of a cheek or do something with the eye. It's so much going on. It's for like 2 minutes or 10 seconds of filming. But we seem to love it.
Yeah. I have to give you a quick joke, actually. It reminds me. I thought I'd take up my fast self and do a family shoot. And it was on my birthday, so I don't know why I chose my birthday, because it's so stressful, you know, with children, family shoot, costume changeover. It's one of these ones where you've got a few change of costumes, like cowboy costumes or Victorian costumes. And I've got friends who's a model, and you know, she does very well and blah blah blah. And I must say, at the end of that, I'd lost the will. We were there for about 12 hours. My youngest was probably about 2 or 3. And when I left there, listen, I don't do very well when I'm hungry. I just let everybody know now. As long as I'm fed and it's the right type of food, I can go on for ages. But don't give me no food, no kind of energy, you know, promote a positive energy, I'm gone. Okay, you can pay me £1, but if it's not, that's why when my dad had the law centre in Portobello Road, he made sure he had the restaurant, backyard restaurant, and also the what was the beginning of the Black Panthers, you know, law centre. Same with when we had the youth centre underneath Westway in Portobello. We had to have Unity Restaurant, because with young people or anybody, if you're going to ask them to do anything, you got to feed them, and you got to feed them good.
But you imagine, Jamila, you imagine what you went through. You imagine you having 200 or 300 essays, 2 kitchens.
To feed.
We're doing split days, or we're doing you know, continuous days. So when we eat, we've got literally a half hour, 45 minutes to feed 200 people.
Listen, I can eat quick.
Everyone has to get aprons.
You get one something in your mouth if you're lucky. There you go, eat the sandwich while you're getting dressed.
Yeah, man, you put aprons on. You don't want to.
Listen, my face is long. My face is long.
You'll be out. You'll be out. Get her out. Get her out. Let's go back to Bridgerton.
No, I'm laughing the soul of the party.
Yeah, she's quite hyped. She'll get you going.
Go on.
Let's take it back to Bridgerton. I want to talk about Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Right? So,
no, she wants to talk about Simon.
All the viewers want to hear about Bridgerton, right? Let's go back to Bridgerton. Right. So, what was it like working with Shonda Rhimes?
Here we go. Look. Keep a straight face.
I'm keeping them up. Keeping them waiting.
I didn't meet Shonda Rhimes. Shonda Rhimes was obviously executive. She's in America. We heard comments from her. We heard that, you know, she liked what we was doing.
Oh, okay.
She heard, you know, she's giving us moral support.
Yeah.
I met a few of her executive producers that came over to England.
Oh, okay, I thought she was actually doing it.
Well, no, she met. I never met her. I never met Shonda. You know, I never met Shonda. And I was there, you know, for a while.
Yeah.
And but I met people who from her office who worked with her. And they came over and they were giving us positive feedback. You know, Shonda's obviously big with her dramas, especially with the presence of Black females. Black women in her shows are powerful. That's why you got the Queen, and you got this woman, you got that woman. She knows the energy and the power of the presence of a Black character, especially a Black female. So all of that's for Shonda. I never met her. I met her people, but you know, I guess, you know, I hope to meet her one day. I hope to direct a show for Shonda. So if you're looking at Shonda,
if you're listening.
Yeah, we're all backing you over here, and we're backing our man too.
The one to take over too.
That's the one right there. No. I'll meet her one day. Huh?
Cast.
Reggae.
Yeah, you know.
What's the question?
Dude.
Yeah, reggae.
Now, if she didn't ask on this show, if she didn't ask you,
reggae is you know what? To be honest with you, reggae is
what's he like in real life? That's what I want to know.
Listen, you know what? He's like me.
Well, I know a lot of. Well, I know you're off there for growing up. So what does that mean?
He's one of the man. He's approachable. Talk to him.
Right,
he's kind. You know, reggae is he's a great guy, man. He just you know, there's not one bad bone in his body. He will talk to anybody. Okay. And that's what I did season. I was blessed to do season 1, and every time I got on set, Saloum, how you doing? What's going on? And we could talk about the scene. You know, he liked the way I placed all the essays. He always come up to me, Saloum, you're doing a really good job. I would say, thank you very much, so are you. And we just talked, we kick it. And, you know, obviously he's doing his thing and I'm doing my thing, but every opportunity that we had, we would always talk. Also, Adjua, remember, you know Adjua?
Yeah, I love her.
Right, that's my queen right there. She is a powerhouse. Very, very
looks like that even in Bridgerton. It's like she's running the team.
Regal. She's regal.
And then she gets things happening
like
because
that.
of it.
Yeah, she would step on set like that, and she would step off set like that. That's just who she is, and she's a lovely woman. She invited me out to see a play of hers. She had a screening one time, so she invited me out, and I went out. You know, when the whole cast were there, literally loads of them were there, and yeah, she was great. But those two particular, I really jammed with as well. You know, but I mean, the cast of Bridgerton in general were very positive. All of them were talented. All of them you could talk to. All of them were approachable. You know, and they all loved what they were doing. And because we was always in hotels and up and down the country, Bath, Bristol, we was down this place, that place. So we would always, you know, go on set and talk, and you know, some of us would talk off set and meet up outside of work and stuff like that. But you know, as far as cast is concerned, and the ones I talked to and the ones that I got on with, everybody was brilliant. You know?
And there's some newer faces. I mean, some faces I'm not even familiar with. I'm not the best TV or drama person to know all actors and actresses. Yeah. But some of them are definitely.
Yeah, some of them are new. I've never worked with them before, but even the new faces were very, very talented.
Yeah,
again,
that's what I mean. Yeah,
it was a show where I felt that everybody was grateful to be there.
Yeah.
Because I certainly had no idea of it going to be a big show. I mean, you know, I didn't know Luther was going to be a big show. You know, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, as far as surprised. It was sneaky, that one. It was sneaky.
Yeah, I'm working on the show. I'm perfecting my craft, because every day I go in, I become a better director. I learn what to do. I learn what not to do. You know, and this is how I go. It's my film school. But show like Bridgerton, for me, obviously it's been great for me personally and professionally. But as again, the diversity, especially in front of the camera and behind the camera, has been a new one for me. You know, we have black people in costume. You know, black people in makeup. We had, you know, black ADs. You know, Louise Rashman, she was a crowd second. She booked all the lovely essays. You know, and it was just like, wow. You know, it was a really good experience to work with other black or melanated crew members.
Yeah.
You know, because there's more of us coming through, and that was nice to see.
So Kenia,
yeah,
I've
was
got a
happy to see
question
that,
for Saloum. Because you know you're sitting there, you must have a question about whether it's Bridgerton or something that that you feel that you would like to ask.
Yeah. Obviously we've got COVID right now, so I wanted to know a bit about how that's like affected the industry, because for a graduating actor like myself, we're going into a different industry right now because of coronavirus. And if there was any advice or any takeaways that you could give about how the industry is doing right now, and how as an actor I could prepare myself for that.
Well, I know that
Good question.
a few productions have been shut down or pushed back until August, or I've heard some productions have been pushed back to September due to the COVID response, because they don't know, you know, about this whole vaccination. I know that Mission Impossible is going right now. Doctor Strange, I heard, is they've kind of loosened up a bit, but in a whole, productions are still in a lot of pre-production. A lot of productions are in pre-production, but they're not shooting. If that makes sense. Yeah. What's best for you to do now? I just think, you know, obviously perfect your craft. You know, look at movies you like. Look at movies or actresses that you want to be like. Your music, if you want to be a composer, you know, listen to like my favorite, like Danny Elfman. You know, there's loads of composers. You know, they'll come to me now, but you know, loads of composers you could be looking at. Take online courses. Go online, or you know, go online for studio Warner Brothers, 20th Century Fox. See what Pinewood, see what productions are coming in. Yeah, and then maybe find out when they're shooting. So if you want to put your CV in, you could do that. Yeah. But I mean, I think with the lockdown, TV is getting big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think the creative industry is getting big, but it's just unsure right now with the COVID, and that's it. You know, take the tests, take the vaccine. You know, nobody knows what's really going on. Me right now, you can see me. I'm in my house. I'm reading. I'm writing. I'm creating. I'm homeschooling.
You know,
you know, and I'm. You know what? I'm a teacher. When it comes to teaching, I don't play, and I'm a teacher. Yeah.
Me too.
My children, boy, they get upset with me.
Listen, I shouldn't even say this on camera, but I said to my neighbor the other day, he goes to me, he looked at me really strangely, and I was like, we always laugh and joke. And he had this expression, he goes to me, and I said, is that to do with teaching at home? He was like,
yeah, because some
construction.
But some people are working from home, like myself, and then you're expected to tutor as well. And I'm like, I can't be working with clients and my son saying, Mum, what does this mean? And I'm like, you're not the teacher. I'm talking to the client. Like, it's difficult.
It's very difficult. Very.
Our young, lovely artists here. You know, I think use this downtime to study as much as you can. Kenny, read, look at movies. You know, listen to like the Hans Zimmer. Look at your craft and know where you want to be and create your own music, because when it opens up, that's when, you know, it's what you got, what do you have, let me read this, let me hear this, what, you know what I mean? So for friendships, you know, we're already friends now, so you know, Yinka and Jamila will give you my email, you can send me music, send me what you've written, send me an audition tape. So that's one thing we could do. So I'm in your corner, because if I'm not, Jamila and Yinka would knock me out.
Yeah, right.
That's what that fist is for.
Yeah.
The grown fist.
So it's about
forging people. That's all it is. Power.
Forging friendships and relationships in the creative world. Because that's I'm gonna say it. You know what? I wasn't gonna say it. But you know, black people already. Yeah. I love this term, and it's called only child syndrome, where they have so much, but they want to keep everything for themselves. Whoever's listening to this right now, whoever has an abundance of in any community, and you know that you could open a door for this young lady here, or for myself, or Yinka, or Jamila, do it. Because abundance is each other along the way. There's so much to go, and it's free. And that's what I saw in Bridgerton, you know, and that's what I'm going to see with the Mangrove 9 next generation. We have to be in a position to help each other because we have the resources now.
Yeah.
And there are black producers. People work in steel, people work in fashion. So come together and let's talk.
Yeah, no, totally. And I just following on from that, I'm glad that you've asked those questions. It confirms what you're probably already thinking.
Yeah.
You know, don't stay focused. And, you know, some of the people are going to try and derail, some intentionally, some not intentionally.
Of course. Yeah.
And if you're strong in your conviction,
Nothing
and you also communicate. Yeah, also, but communication is the key. I keep saying to everybody, communicate. Some people, that's not their forte to communicate directly. They'll do other means in order to express what they want to do. But whichever way is your way and you're comfortable with it, just be comfortable within yourself.
Yeah,
always a way.
Always going to be a way.
From young, people used to always say, "Oh, you're never going to make it. You're never going to do this. You're never going to do that." And I always knew to myself, I was going to make it. I was going to find a way. It's like in anything, isn't it? You can always, there's always a way. There's always, if you go this way, you can't get there, you can turn that way. You can't get there, you can go that way.
It happened to me. People used to laugh at me. Also, you want to be a filmmaker. You want to make films in Hollywood. How are you going to do that? Yeah. Now, I've done it. Yeah, I'm doing it.
Because you believe it. Believe it.
That belief. You know, and it's just, you know, I've worked on some of the biggest films of all times. As an assistant director, and so, you know, I go on set thinking, wow, this is incredible, but I had the belief in myself to do that.
Because if you don't believe it, no one's going to believe in you. No one's going to believe you if you don't believe yourself.
Not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No, I was just going to say, and it's nice when you can go into a room. It's a bit like in Bridgerton when I think the aunt was saying to Simon as a character that you have to command your presence. You know, if you're confident in yourself, when you walk into a room, you don't even have to open your mouth. You don't even have to say anything.
You have to say nothing.
Because you know yourself and you know what energy you're putting out there, and you get it back.
Of course you do. I've been, you know, the only black guy on sets for years, so I know what energy I've had to put out, and it's all positive energy. But I know that with my ancestors, I know, you know, I know people hearing this, and I always talk about Ladbroke Grove, you know, but I have to say Ladbroke Grove because that's where I'm from. You know what I mean? And Ladbroke Grove
is a teaching part.
It is. That was my school. Ladbroke Grove was my drama school. You know, the Ebony Steel Band. I used to play. That was my drama school. I didn't have to go to drama school. If you live in Ladbroke Grove, that is the drama school.
Yeah, and the characters that we had there, like Sledge and, you know, walking historians.
Lewis, you know, the ones that, you know, that I used to know and grow up with through Acklam, you know, and then from Acklam going to Tabernacle, you know. So when I was ready to step onto sets like Bond or Wrath of Titans or you know, World War Z, I already had.
Saloum, I always remember.
Already.
I remember when we were young, you used to say Yinka, when we like meet up everywhere hanging about. It'd be like, Yinka, come, you need to come and see the James Bond scenes. And I'd be like, and he'd be like, no, Yinka, you have to come. And I said, some days I was just confused of what was really going on. And then to turn around now and look back and think, wow, he really was on the James Bond set, really doing it. Because you know, you're young, you just think,
yeah, of course. But you know, those times were exciting for me because, you know, I didn't drive. I used to wake up at like 3:30 in the morning, jump on a train, to get another train, to get a bus to the studio. So it was all different for me. And in the first few weeks of being on Bond, and a guy called Lee Taylor, he's still a really big assistant director to this day. He used to give me a lift in his Mini. I used to meet him by the A40. To jump in the car and go to work.
But you got energy, Selena. But energy.
Well, you have to have energy.
No,
you want to be
so much energy
in the music industry, as you know, or the film industry. You have to have a certain type of energy to push you forward.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Get up when you fall. Get up when you fall.
Because I've fallen enough time, but you know, it's just about I want to be one of the best filmmakers the world's ever seen. That's my mantra. I've just told you that. You know, and that's my mantra. So whatever, you know, it takes me to do, to wake up and to work hard to make movies, you know. And even when I did the online carnival, that was one of my biggest jobs, because I had the responsibility not of just for Ladbroke Grove, but for everybody that ever been to carnival.
And future people,
and they're critical as well.
And yeah, our people. One thing you love about our people is they'll tell you when you're right, but they will definitely tell you when you're wrong.
Exactly. I've been on
and
both sides.
Back. And they don't matter if I know. I'll leave you with this one. What makes me laugh is the characters.
I'm enjoying myself now.
So can you tell us any secrets?
So what about Bridgerton?
Oh, yeah, let's go back to Bridgerton, man. We can't have you like. So one. Not really. Was there a serious chemistry between Duke of Hastings and Daphne?
No.
Behind the scenes.
No, I don't know, man. You know what? You could.
Don't get yourself in trouble. Don't get yourself in trouble.
I don't know nothing about that. All I know is that
nothing.
I was on set and I was doing the thing with all the essays.
You sound like someone's been interviewing like a detective. I was on set. I don't know anything about that.
I know nothing about that.
Okay, no. So what happens in Bridgerton stays in Bridgerton? Is that the story then?
Yeah, I guess so. But I just, I just ain't got time. You know what? I've got a job to do, and if I've got like 250 people,
it's really telling us the whole story. We're playing with you, Saloum. We're playing.
I know you are.
The ladies out there, they want to know if he's single.
65 million people want to know that question.
Well, you know
is
what?
he single?
Why would I won't go to Reggae and say, Reggae, are you single? I don't know. How do I know?
That's not even a man thing. Men don't really ask them questions.
No, it's a woman thing, man.
That's a woman thing.
In his fantasy of the whole of Bridgerton.
Next time I see Reggae, I'll ask him. I say,
ask him if there's 65 million women out there want to know.
Don't ask him. Tell him to come over. Come on the show. We'll ask him
and tell us whether he's single. Right?
Well, the 10 million women that behind us.
But also going back to Bridgerton, is there? So there's going to be another season. When will that be coming out?
It will be season 2. I know that for a fact. I know it's shooting this year. I know that for a fact. But I don't know when it's going to come out.
That's all COVID, isn't it?
I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know. I mean, you have different AD teams, you have different production teams, different producer teams. So I mean, what I do know is that I've done season 1, and the whole team set the bar this high. So whoever does it next, good luck.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
No, I hear that. And what about any future projects that you're thinking about? Is there anything out there that you particularly want to?
I've got a few.
Would like to share with us?
Projects that I'm working on. Jamila and Yinka. I've got a few projects that I'm working on. But you know how we are as people. I don't really want to talk for people to dump in my things. Yeah.
You sound like us. We've got a few projects in the Grove, but I just don't want to talk about it just yet.
I know that we can all collect haters, and I know I've got plenty, but I'm just saying that I've got a few projects on the go, and they're big because I think big, and I want to do big things. Big things have got me here right now. But of course I will let you know on when it happens. Yeah, definitely. But
we're going to get you back on the show again because I know there's
of course, man. I mean, I love being on your show. I'm part of you, so
you're part of the crew now. You can't get away.
I'm part of the crew.
No, I say, when I love my people, I say to them, especially if I start bringing them closer to me, is I'm like the mafia. Once you come in, there's only one way you're going out.
You can't leave. Also, Kenia, so have you got anything lined up, or anywhere you're heading? I've seen your lovely video that's out there that you should be promoted. Excellent classical piano you was playing. Where do you see yourself?
I'm interested in all mediums of acting, so film, TV, and theatre. So I just want to do everything, to be honest. I just love acting and how you need to be passionate, like the long days and how much work it takes. And I'm prepared to do that. So I'm ready to just jump in to the industry. That's what I want to do. I just want to do everything.
Good for you.
And music as well is a big part of my life. And I do want to include that as well. Because I am interested in writing as well. I've written a few things.
Good
so
I
want to put my musical side into my writing, into my acting. I want to kind of put it all together and do that.
That's really good stuff. Yeah, just as I said, just keep it, just keep focused, and just keep your drive. Don't let anybody knock you off. It's very important. you know. And yeah, I just leave. I'm just gonna leave with saying that, you know, I love you guys. Thank you very much for having me on the show. If I get any more Bridgerton news, you know I'm gonna let you know.
Tell us first. We want to
411, you know, the 411.
Those people having babies. No, not in real life. I'm joking about in real life. Talking about in Britain. The Duke and Daphne, they have a baby, don't they?
Yeah,
they do. Come on, I'm not imagining it now. I make me feel like I'm seeing things.
Maybe season 2, they'll have a big picnic. But yeah,
picnic, yeah.
You know, but big picnic.
Oh,
yeah.
you know what that reminds me of? Sorry, I just cut in there. What I thought was a really good scene was between Simon as a character with his father as a child, and the way the dad dealt with, well, the way he was superficially looking at what it is to have a boy child, what it means.
Yeah,
and which either overpowers him, and there's a lot of characters like that out there, like him, so that he's based on somebody. And the fact that when he took the baby, it was so poignant the way he did it. He took the baby from the mother, didn't look back on the mother to see if she was still alive or what was happening, and went to show off the child. You know, and then she's there, you don't even know she passed.
Then the child.
Then you got the other side when he gets older and he can't talk, and he 5. He's a brilliantly minded son, and this is happening in certain homes as well. So I like there's certain elements that he actually brings to home, which is what we said earlier. And the way that as parents or even as elders, we can actually stunt or reverse the growth of our children just by our actions and our words.
Of course,
and then when he later on, he sees his dad, obviously, as his dad is transitioning, and you know, his whole energy and anger and everything is then channeled in this one moment, and it's a reversal of power. And it was quite a profound moment, really. And it kind of makes you think that we have to also be mindful what we're saying to people and what we're saying to our loved ones and how we're treating our loved ones.
Exactly. Energy.
It's energy. Yeah. So I did like that, and it had me up on the seat going, ooh.
I mean, there's a reason why 65 million households have seen the show.
Yeah.
It was definitely a creeper, because I didn't see that coming. You know, I was like, oh, I'll give it a little watch, and I was like, we'll watch the next episode.
I did warn Unu in the last interview.
Yeah, I know you did. You mentioned it in the last show.
Listen.
Okay.
My eyes. I haven't even slept. I haven't even slept yesterday. 4 shows straight. Last night.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
About 12 to 4 in the morning.
Yeah. No, I think yeah. I just think with as a black filmmaker, I want for producers and commissioners to give us those opportunities now.
And there's a black audience. There is a black audience for these things. Not just black, but for everybody.
Diversity.
The whole thing that they used to use against us is that they didn't think that if they commissioned something, put some money towards it, they would get their money, they would recoup their money because there wasn't an audience for that. If they'd done black shows or whatever. That was always been the argument in the 80s, well, not so much 70s because we had the black flicks in the 70s, but in the 80s, 90s, and the beginning of 2000, you know, it goes to say what we saw on the TV.
Remember, that show was greenlit by an African American, Shonda.
Shonda's brilliant.
I mean, her shows, How to Get Away with Murder, her shows are really big. So you have this African American, as they call themselves, female, who's successful American, big in Hollywood, that buys the rights to Bridgerton and goes, right, and Netflix goes, here you go, Shonda, bam, there's the money, make your show.
And you know what was good is that she took that opportunity and she didn't say, right, I'm going to just, you know, go out there and make it be a particular way and make it just all black cast or whatever. She showed you that diversity is the way forward.
Exactly, and that was the great thing about it, the diversity of it, and you know, we're all together. We all look good, and we can all play good, and we can all have good, fun things together.
Exactly.
Great storylines. We can all do it together, and that was it. But yeah, man.
Quality.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. We enjoyed. Now we understand.
Yeah.
So if I mention the next show that I'm doing, remember you heard it here first.
No, definitely. I ain't gonna take that one lightly.
When are we gonna do the Mangrove 9 and next the next one?
Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
The Mangrove Nine. We need to get together and do another Mangrove 9, the movie.
Oh yeah. I said that from the beginning. I said Steve's set the pathway or the platform for us to go forward on, but the Mangrove 9 has to feature not just a quarter of them, but it has to feature all 9 of them. And I think that what's also interesting is the powerful stories each member has.
Yeah.
Not even just their intellect or what they've achieved or what they've done. Yinka's dad being a musician, I mean, the DNA is coming through.
Yeah.
And a diversity, and a diversity. A lot of people don't realise that how much. I mean, like myself, how many mixed race children there were within within Mangrove 9. So there was a lot of diversity.
And white people.
That's what I mean. The diversity about my mother obviously was white, and so I think. You may be the man.
It has so many different.
You might be the man,
different elements. Yeah,
you could be the man. You could be the man. Not Mike. I'm hinting for you to say, I am.
We're giving you the scope.
I am. Let's just create it. We've got enough energy between us.
Yeah.
Whoever's watching out there that's got some money that they can give us, produce us, and to give us a development money, and make it happen. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So anyone listening out there, you heard Saloum. You heard it from the man himself. Yeah. He will be the man to take this project. Yeah, we're not
going to take the money and run away to Barbados because we're in lockdown. Because it reminds me of that story before I go about Chris Blackwell when Bob Marley approached him at Island Record, and Chris Blackwell said that when he gave them money, he did not expect them to come back. But they came back with one of the biggest albums of all time.
Yeah, it's so true.
That's what I'm talking about.
Talking about Island Records, one of the Mangrove 9 children, Tarkus, is A&R man now for Island.
There you go. So let's get him on board.
Yeah.
Whatever your name is, my name is Saloum Njie. I'm a filmmaker. You can see Jamila.
Tarkus Jr.
In the future. Let's get together. Let's talk.
And we've got Martin Kentish, and who's also budding film. Yeah, coming up to he's doing filmmaking.
For Warner, I think he does Warner Brothers, doesn't he? Joe?
Yeah. So
we're there. We have all the talent in there. Yeah, it's just putting it together.
Let's just put something together this year. Let's put a synopsis together. Let's put a treat together so we can get a funding package. We can present to people. Yeah. And let's go. Let what I said go out live. I'm doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
And listen.
We thank you. I'll give you a virtual hug. I'll give you a big hug.
And Kenia, there's a role for you as well. There's a role for you as well, sweetheart.
Kenia, thank you. Kenia, you can play someone definitely. And then she's your blood. Mangrove 9.
Big up all of them in the Grove.
Big up all of them.
Big up to the West Sides and to everybody out there. And we just want to say a big thank you, Saloum, for being on the show. Listen, you're like my brother anyway.
I'm your brother, you know that. Peace out.
For all the times you made me dress up in costume. And your mum. And a big
it's all coming out now.
Yep. To Kenia Fenton. She is one to look out for, I have to say. She's brilliant classically playing the piano, but also as an actress. Anybody who doesn't snap her up now, that's your loss. She's going to make it out there, let me tell you. And Jamila, I'll leave it to you.
As usual, my sister.
And that's me and Jamila like two peas in a pod. Yeah.
You two should start doing podcasts together now.
Yeah.
Because you're getting famous. You're getting a rep. So get online, podcast. Okay. Jamila and Yinka show.
You have to help us go that way. You're the man to tell us.
You're doing it already. Podcast.
Sure.
You know what I mean? What the people I know in the film industry, I could set up interviews. Just do it.
Yeah, well, you're the man for that, so we'll hold you to that.
And not even just that, we'll make sure we keep. No, I was just going to say, ideally, this is one thing I was definitely going to say is, Saloum, we definitely need to, as well as obviously doing the Mangrove Night thing is good, don't get me wrong, and that is most needed. But what ideally would be great, and I'm saying it on this show, is we need a cultural archiving center, training center. So not only does it show, it holds all the community archiving and beyond for our next generations, but also it develops young talents.
Yes.
So we've got different areas within that building under the Westway, because the Westway is now, what's the word I can look for? Because they've been under review and the reports come out. We've had that institutional racism throughout North Kensington and Notting Dale. With various organisations. So what we're actually doing now is, since we lost a lot of our businesses through that, now we need to nurture and develop that we've lost, so that we can be, keep that financial independence going in our community. So that's what I ideally would like. Where the sports centre is? Under the Westway. That misused building that nobody could afford. That was local.
They've got a bar upstairs, right?
They've got a bar. They've got kind of like a roof. Yeah. That's an ideal to give back to the community. That's an ideal building. So I'm saying it out there.
What's happened to that space? Is it empty?
I think they've got a contract with Sports Centre, but it's not anything that's permanent, I don't think. I have to investigate it a bit further, but it's been derelict for a while, derelict looking for a while. But it's things like that we need to start, looking around and seeing how we can revamp. We've got quite a lot of community buildings and, halls that we don't use, like Yar Ascentua Centre. Did I say that right? Yeah, I remember. In Harrow Road, there's quite a few community centres that are underused. But we don't have the mentors, we don't have the right type of energy to develop that yet, or redevelop.
We've told them now, we need to do that. You've told them, so everyone can hear out there, we need to give us back some spaces, and we want to be diverse with it. So, we're giving back to the community, and our community in West Sides especially is diverse. We come from all different backgrounds. It's not that we're saying we want to take anything away from anybody.
No, we're celebrating what we are.
Unite. It's all about unity and diversity. So we want to say again, big thank you to Saloum, big thank you to Kenia Fenton, look out for that one. Big thank you to Jamila, my girl, you got him. And we'll see you again soon. And when this lockdown finishes, we'll go for a drink.
We'll talk definitely.
We're going to meet up. Definitely. Right.
Bye-bye.
Say bye, everybody.
Take care.
Thank you to all the viewers out there for joining us. There you have it. Saloum, Njie, and Bridgerton, Kenia, and Jamila. Don't forget to like, subscribe on our show, and see you soon. Bye. Bye.
Look after. Bye.
Bye.